Hi dears, welcome to my channel. Today we are discussing class 8 lesson 6 reproduction in organisms. Okay, before that we have to see what all questions I have asked you in lesson 5, isn't it? What was the lesson's name? Conservation of plants and animals. There I have asked you 3 questions. Do you remember dears? It's a time to answer these questions. The first question was the place where animals are protected in their natural habitat is dash. It's wildlife sanctuary. Species found in particular area is called dash species. It is endemic species. Okay. Migratory birds fly to far away places because of dash changes. It's because of the climatic changes. Now we are moving for the sixth lesson. What's that, ma? Reproduction in organisms. As we have seen, various life processes are there in organism. One of an important process is this reproduction. Why the reproduction has to happen? When reproduction is there, the next generation will come. The ability of the organism to produce their offsprings is called what, ma? It's called reproduction. If the reproduction is there only, the population will be increased. A particular species will be living in the continue to be in the earth only because of this reproduction. We have seen in the last lesson what was that? A extinct species. The species has been extinct because from the earth the species has been driven out only because the reproduction has been stopped for these species. So this lesson is also a continuation of the last lesson days. Here we are seeing why the reproduction is happening and how the reproduction is happening and what all types of reproductions are there. All these we are learning in detail. Moreover, how the reproduction is happening in human also we are discussing over here. Shall we go for the class? Reproductions are of two types, ma. One is asexual and the other is sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is the one in which only one parent will be there in participating in the reproductive process. That means normally a father and mother will be there in normal organism, but for the microorganisms like to say amoeba, hydra, all these there will be only one parent. From that the child will be formed or it will be divided into two. It is called what, ma? It is called asexual reproduction. It needs only one parent. How it is happening? It can be by binary fission or by budding or by spore formation, like that many things are there. The binary fission is cutting into two. It's simple as that. As we know, it is in amoeba there is no shape for this amoeba. So what happens is if there is a cake and if you are cutting into two, it has become two, right? Like that, where the amoeba when it is the time for the reproduction, the nucleus will be divided into two. Then the cytoplasm also divides into two, and the amoeba will be split into two. So one has become two. This is called what, ma? Binary fission. So where is the parent? Parent is not there. One has been changed into two. Okay, and the two will be changed into four. Like that, it will spread. Okay. Not only that, in the case of hydra, it's in this hydra a small budding will come. The budding will grow. Then the nucleus in the real plant or the real hydra will be split into two, and in the small bud the nucleus will go and attach. When the bud has grown into a high size, much more higher size, it will be split from the parent. So one has become two. Like that, these kinds of reproduction is happening in small or microorganism. We are saying it as asexual reproduction, and you have to note the point that only one parent is there. Okay, ma? Now we are moving for sexual reproduction. In the case of sexual reproduction, two parents are needed. That means a male as well as a female. Okay, male and female is there. Now not only that, there should be some specific cells from which this reproduction is happening. The male reproductive cell is called sperm and the female reproductive cell is called ovum, or we can say egg also. Okay, ma? These reproductive cells, we are saying the common name as gametes. male gamete, female gamete. If I am saying, if I am continuing the class, when I am continuing, I will say gametes, male gamete is coming, female gamete. So you have to understand that that reproductive cell is called gamete. Okay, ma? So male reproductive cell is called what, ma? Or male gamete is called sperm and the female gamete is called egg or ovum. Okay. Then what happens? What is happening over there? Actually, the ovum will be in a place and the sperm will come and attach to this ovum. Then what happens is this this sperm and the ovum get fused to become one. Did you get, ma? Every cell, as you know, it is having a nucleus and as well as a cytoplasm. Okay. Here, the male gamete is also having what, ma? Nucleus and a cytoplasm. The female gamete is also having nucleus and a cytoplasm. That is, in the egg, when the egg is there, the sperm is coming and attached to that. Then what happens? These two nucleus and two cytoplasm will be fused. Actually, the nucleus only get fused and become a single cell. This we are saying that the fertilization is happened, or we can say the egg get fertilized, or we can say fertilized egg has been we are having the fertilized egg, like that we will say. Okay. Thus the formation of this fertilized egg is called what? It is called zygote. We are saying it as zygote. The fusion of male and female gamete to produce zygote is called what, ma? It is called fertilization. We are using the term fertilization. That means the sperm and the ovum get fused to form zygote. We are saying it as what, ma? It is called fertilization. This fertilization can be of two types: external fertilization and internal fertilization. From the name itself, we are getting some ideas, right? External means outside. Outside what? Outside the body of female. And internal means what? Inside the body of female. Did you get, ma? This fertilization can be of two types. It can be done outside the body of female as well as inside the body of female. How the outside it is happening? In the case of animals, small animals or organisms like fish and frog, what the thing is, it will happen only in water. Okay? Consider a frog. The male frog is coming and sitting in the water, and it is giving a smooth raga, isn't it? Say it will sing a song. Have you heard about the song? It will sing the song with a beautiful raga and all. So that what will happen? The female frog will come to know that the male frog is here sitting. So the female frog also will come. When they are coming close to each other, the female frog will put what? The egg to the water. And the male frog also spread its sperms over there. When the egg and the sperms are coming attached to each other, it will fuse to form zygote within the water. Did you get, ma? So, in the external environment, the fertilization is happening and fertilized eggs will be formed. The fertilized eggs will be transferred into tadpole, then into new frog. Isn't it, ma? Froglet, then frog. You have learned about it, how it has happened. So, convert into tadpole, tadpole change into froglet, froglet change into frog. So, the new frog is coming, but this frog will not come to know who is my father, who is my mother. Isn't it, ma? This is what, ma? External fertilization. The same is happening for the fish also. Okay? So, this is what happened, ma? This is happening in the external fertilization. So, fertilization is happening outside the body of female. The other is internal fertilization. It is happening inside. Inside what? Inside the body of female. How it is happening? It is happening due to the fusion of male and female gamete, but the fertilization is occurring inside the body of female. Where it is happening for? In what all organisms it is happening? It is happening mainly in case of mammals, in the case of birds, and also some insects also. This fertilization is happening. Now we are moving to see in detail how the fertilization and the formation of a child is happening in the case of humans. Dears, now we are moving to see the sexual part of male and female in the case of human. The functions of the body is controlled by two systems, nervous system as well as endocrine system. The reproduction is controlled by endocrine system. Here some glands will be secreted, hormonal secretions also there, and accordingly this reproduction also will be coming smoother. Now we are going to see the female reproductive part. Female is the one who is able to give birth to a child, so that the parts also are special. We are moving to see that. These are two ovaries. Ovaries will produce what, ma'am? Ovaries will produce ovum or egg. And this is the tube-like structure called fallopian tube, or we are saying it as oviduct. And it enters into the muscular part, broad muscular part. It is called uterus. And there is a wide muscular part which is having an opening. It is called vagina. These are the main important parts for the female reproductive organ. We are saying the male reproductive organ. Here, testes. There are two testes present. The testes produce sperms, and there is a tube again called vas differentia, and then another important part is penis. Here, penis is the part which is an external opening over there, and here the sperm as well as urine is coming through this penis outside. We have to see how the ovary produce ovum. Ovary produce ovum only once in a month. From either of these ovaries, the ovum will be produced and the ovum will be matured. We are saying it as matured egg. And the testes produce sperms. It is not one ma. The testes produce millions of sperms. And the sperms are the small cells and which are having a head, a middle part and a tail. When the sperm get attached to this ovum, fertilization happens. It occurs in fallopian tube. When the matured ovum is there and when the sperm is able to be attached to this fertilized ovum, fertilization occurs. As a result, what is happening? The zygote will be produced. The zygote is the unicellular, having a single nucleus. What happens is it started dividing. One changes into 2 changes into 4, and the 4 changes into 8. By the time as the size is getting increased, the fallopian tube is not able to hold these cells. So it will come directly and get attached to the uterus, to the wall of uterus. This is the vascular stage. By this stage, it will come and attach to the uterus, and then the cell growth will be much more improved. The cells will be grown and it will be divides and convert into tissues. Tissues converts into organs, and organ system is formed, and the child will be formed. By the 9th month, the child will be produced, and we are saying it as fetus. We are saying the child which is having the head, every part will be developed up to 9 months. The developing stage will be there, and that time is called the gestation period, and the lady is called pregnant. By the time of 9th month, the full body parts will be developed, and we are saying it as fetus. When the child is fully developed inside the body of the female, the child started coming out. Through this vaginal opening, the child will be coming out. We are saying it as normal delivery. By the time, this is the way through which the child is coming out. But sometimes some complications will be there. By the time the doctors will do an operation, by that way they will take the child from the uterus directly. It is called a cesarean operation. Sometimes due to some complications or some blockages in the oviduct, for some females, this oviduct will be blocked so that the sperms will not be able to go and attach to this fertilized ovum. By the time this childbirth will be impossible for the parents, isn't it? So what the doctors will do is they will take the matured egg from the mother, and they will take the sperms from the father, and in the test tube they allow them to get fertilized. So zygote will be formed and the development starts. When it started developing, the doctors will carefully inject into the uterus wall of the mother. By the time the child will be grown over there and the fetus and the normal delivery or by cesarean method, they will remove it. So the child who is born by that way is called test tube baby. It doesn't mean that the child is born inside the test tube. Okay. So they are taking for a little time, it will be external fertilization and again they will put inside for the development. Okay. So we are saying it as IVF. Have you heard about that? IVF, in vitro fertilization. And the baby is called test tube baby. These important things are over for the humans. Now we are moving to see what all changes are happening in small organisms. Dears, now we are moving to see metamorphosis. For that we should know one thing. Is the infant baby is coming from humans, right? Is the baby appears like his father or mother? Yes, he is appearing like his father either or a mother. The child looks like the adult. In the case of dog or in the case of goat or in case of all mammals, the child who is coming out from the mother looks exactly like the mother or father or the parent. But in the case of frog or in the case of butterfly, is the same happening. From the egg, tadpole is coming in the case of frog. Is the tadpole looking like the adult frog? No, it's like a fish, isn't it? For in the case of butterfly also, the larva is coming out. It is entirely different from butterfly, isn't it? That's the drastic changes which is involved during the transformation of larva to adult is called what, ma? It is called metamorphosis. It occurs in the case of frog, then mosquitoes, butterflies like that. Now we are moving to see viviparous, the difference between viviparous as well as oviparous. What is that? Viviparous and oviparous we are seeing. As in the case of human, I told you there is a gestation period by the time the embryo is developed fully into a fetus or into a baby. After that, the baby is coming out, isn't it? It is here the development of embryo occurs inside the mother's body. Are you saying yes to that? Yes, it's correct. But in the case of hen or in the case of birds, we can see the hen, boy, in the case of hen, you can see the hen will hatch eggs and the hen will lay over it for some weeks, to say 3 weeks. After that, the chick will be coming out by breaking this hard shell. What is this happening over there? As we know about this fertilization, we can say in the case of hen or in the case of birds, this zygote is formed in the fallopian tube itself. And as it is coming down, the hard shell started growing. The hard shells will be formed as a protective layer to this zygote. And the egg will be laid by the hen through this vaginal opening only. When it is coming out, the embryo is not fully developed. The development has to be occurred. It is occurring outside. It is occurring it is occurring within the egg. And what is the hen doing? The hen is sitting over it to give it warmth. By the time the development of embryo is happening, by the almost 3 weeks, the full development will be happen and the chick will be coming what? By breaking this hard shell. This kind is called what, ma? Oviparous. If the development of embryo is happened outside the body of female, we are saying it as oviparous, and if the development of embryo is happening inside the body of female, we are saying it as viviparous. In the case of mammals, viviparous is happening, and in the case of birds and some other organisms who give egg, who lays egg, oviparous is happening. Okay, ma? Is it possible to have a Xerox copy of the parent? Yes, it's possible. It has been done in 1926. We are saying that sheep, which is having the Xerox copy of a parent sheep, we are saying it as Dolly. Dolly is given is generated or the dolly is formed due to this cloning. What is this cloning? In 1926, the scientists were dared to do this cloning. Actually, they have taken the cell of a sheep which is having nucleus. A cell will be having nucleus, right? They have taken, considering we are taking the sheep as X. This X sheep, from that the cell is taken. And one more sheep, Y sheep. From that, the egg they have taken. From this egg, they have removed the nucleus. Then they cloned. After this cloning, they kept it. The zygote is formed and development starts. And by the time they injected back into the uterus of Y sheep. After the gestation period, the sheep gave birth to a child that is called a dolly. Okay, ma? The dolly is having the Xerox copy. A dolly is the exact Xerox copy of parent sheep. Which sheep it will be? It will be the Xerox copy of X sheep. Why is it so? Do you know why? Because they have taken the cell of X sheep whose nucleus is there. But in the case of Y sheep, they have removed the nucleus. In the nucleus, DNA strands will be there, and the characteristic will be having there. If the child dolly is born, it is having the exact same characteristic of this X sheep. Now I am having a question. Why we are having the characteristic of both your father and mother? We are having the characteristic of sometimes your mother will say you are just like your father. Exactly the same specialties of father you are having. Sometimes the father will say the same you are like your mother ditto. Like that they will say no. You are having the characteristic of both. Why? Because at the time of fertilization, fusion has been happened. The nucleus of mother and the nucleus of father fused to form what? A single nucleus, and by the time zygote is formed. That's why this nucleus is getting developed. As because of this reason, we are having the characteristic of both our father and mother. Okay. Now the lesson is closed. We are moving for the question time. The question is ready. Are you ready to answer, dears? Development of fertilized egg occurs. That is, initial development of the fertilized egg occurs in dash. Initial development of fertilized egg is occurring in dash in the case of human. Not in the case of human, but in the case of sexual reproduction, it's occurring. Where it is occurring is a question. Second one, budding is, example for the budding is dash. Dash is the example for budding. Budding is occurring in dash. Third one, the part which produce female gamete is dash. The part of the body which produce female gamete is called dash. Thank you. We can meet in the next class. Bye.